Having my morning cup of coffee. I decided coffee today in my coffee with Gino cup. My Copico Blanca, 3-in-1 coffee here in the Philippines. Coffee, cream, and sugar. Oh, let me put the volume down on my laptop here. All right. First, I want to greet everyone in the United States. Happy 4th of July. God bless America. Yeah, it was 4th of July here yesterday. I was greeting some friends of mine. They were greeting me also, but I know it's the 4th of July in America right now. At one time, actually, here in the Philippines, we shared July 4th as Independence Day here in the Philippines. After World War II, the Filipinos celebrated July 4th as the Philippine Independence Day. What happened was sometime in the 60s, one of the president of the Philippines, I think it was President Magsaysay, I think, he changed it. He changed it to June 12th to be the Philippine independence instead of July 4th. Now here in the Philippines, July 4th, if you're here in the Philippines, that's called the Filipino-American Friendship Day is what's that called here in the Philippines. I decided to start the live stream because I saw there's a few people already on the live stream. I saw Lowell. Kumusta, Lowell from Oregon? God bless my brother. Had a great talk, a video call with Lowell yesterday. Hey, hang in there, brother. You know, it's like do your thing. Well, you know, we'll work on getting you here in the Philippines. And morning, Kuya Gino. Happy 250 years. I know, right? 250 years. That is so awesome. Thanks for the service and sacrifice of the man possible for us to celebrate. And for me, like I've always mentioned on the live streams, you know, I'll always be a patriot. I'm so grateful for America, the opportunities that I saw and that I experienced in America. If my mom didn't moved me to the United States, no telling what I would have ended up here in the Philippines. You know, it's like for me, I'll always be grateful. The 20 years active duty military that I served in the United States Air Force, some of the best years of my life. Also, some of the hardest. I'm not gonna lie, it was some of the best, but it wasn't all easy in the military. And my military brothers, my veterans out there know what I'm talking about. You know, 20 years active duty in the military is no joke. Howdy, Lowell. God bless from Jokano. Panay Pasi in the house. All right, Vaughn. Hi from Nevada. Rain. Okay, God bless. La Casa Española. I know, right? Last week I was mentioning to Derek, we had a scheduled power outage here in Numancia, in our town of Numancia. But Calibo didn't have, certain areas in Calibo had a power outage for 12 hours, but La Casa Española wasn't one of them. So I was like, we usually, when it's a scheduled power outage, we try to like go to a resort, go to the beach, but we just didn't have the energy to like drive a long drive and everything. So we decided to just stay at La Casa and Española. And Nathan, the manager there, is always really nice. Appreciate Nathan accommodating us. Captain Ron, Derek. Oh, Captain Ron's here too. Let me see. Did I miss Captain Ron? All right. Oh yeah, from the beginning, from the pickleball comment. All right. Raymond, good morning, my brother. Denzel, all right. Prayers, brother. God bless, Raymond. Happy 4th of July here in the, yes, I figured that. The 5th here, the 4th over in the United States. Happy 4th of July, all right. Hey, Ray, yo, Joe. Good morning, Expat Live in the Philippines. My brother Belus in Leyte. From the jungle in Leyte. I love that, man. From the jungle. I finally caught a live stream. Salute to the USA. Salute, my brother. Salute. Joe, oh, hello. All right, Lowell. Okay, all right. It's been a while since I have been Dazzle TV. Yeah, I've been trying to schedule it, and I'll keep doing it. I think I'll keep doing it at least once a week. I'll do a live stream once a week to stay connected, with everyone. I might try to do two a week, but we'll see. Lately, I've been kind of busy. I'm focusing more on the videos, developing videos. I got like 4 or 5 videos already done. It's already scheduled to come out. So I feel like I can accomplish more because some of the videos require some research. I don't want to pass out like wrong information. So I'm very careful. Before I tackle a subject, I try to do research and try to give you the best information that I can give you. Hello, Joe. Joe Cunningham. Happy Independence Day. You watched the USAF band? They were great. Oh no, I haven't seen anything. I'll probably go to YouTube. I don't have cable TV. My source of entertainment basically. I only have internet and YouTube, Netflix. It's pretty much our entertainment here. But I'm sure I can find somewhere on YouTube about the U.S. Air Force band and the fly. All the celebration in America for sure. Raymond, happy 4th of July. All right. How was your 4th of July yesterday? Here, really, we don't really celebrate the 4th of July. I know they had a Philippine American Friendship Day in Iloilo City. I thought about going, but it's just a long drive for Dazzle and I. It's like a 4-hour drive. And we're trying to save up money right now because towards the end of the month, we got some travel plans. We weren't able to do some traveling during the oil energy crisis and all that, but towards the end of this month, Dazzle and I will be traveling a little bit. So we're trying to budget, trying to stay within our budget, trying to save some money right now. Long live the Expat. All right, Expat information. All right. In Numancia here, the weather, I always kind of start with the weather. It feels hot. And it's only 8 a.m. here, 8:01. And even on the AccuWeather in Numancia, it says here, feels like 30 degrees Celsius, which is about 91 degrees Fahrenheit. It's 8 a.m. It is, sun was like beaming. It is hot, man. That's why I got the shades down a little bit here. I got the fan blowing air on me, but it is warm. It is warm here. Not even just 8 a.m. It's already so warm here. In the Pag-asa, the Weather Channel, there is like no weather condition inside the PAR. We're keeping an eye out though. Keeping an eye out on something hitting Guam, Saipan, that area. Supposed to be like a super typhoon. But the trajectory, I was watching Westpax. Westpax is an American guy that does the weather in this part of the world. And he was saying, if it does come to the Philippine area of responsibility, it's going to hit like northern Luzon towards the Batanes. So probably not going to bring any rain here to our area in Numancia, Aklan, or Visayas. Pretty much the whole country, Metro Manila, rest of the country, partly cloudy skies, isolated rain showers and thunderstorms. Here in our area, I've noticed a trend the past week or so. Sunny, super hot during the day. Come sunset, 6 p.m., we get like lightning, thunder, and then rain at night. It's the weather that we've been getting here. The dollar to peso exchange rate, $1 is 61.38. Pretty good exchange rate still for us here. All right. A little travel to celebrate. Yeah, I will be celebrating my birthday. August 1st is my birthday. La Casa Española is the place that I got it all reserved. The 4th floor there. We're going to have karaoke. Invited many of my friends already. So should be a big event. Here in the Philippines, 60 is a big birthday. The birthdays that Filipinos celebrate usually is the 1st birthday, the 7th birthday, because that's your confirmation. Most Filipinos are Catholic, so you got your confirmation at 7. 18, when you become an adult here in the Philippines, and then 60. 60 marks that you're now a senior citizen. You now belong to the senior club here in the Philippines. You get an ID and everything. You get the discount, all Philippine discount for food, airlines, you name it. 20% medication, 20% discount once you turn 60 years old if you're a Filipino citizen. Doesn't apply to expats. I know I always I get that, yeah, well, it doesn't apply to me because it's only for Filipino citizens. Those benefits apply only for Filipinos. All right. Bit early or early. Dazzle's birthday is July 25. That's why we're kind of celebrating her birthday, traveling, doing some things. I won't let the cat out of the bag. You'll just see. I'll just start filming, and you'll see the new area that we're going to be visiting. I'm very excited. Very excited. Should be a lot of fun. My son dropped his dog off for me to watch so they can enjoy. Oh, yeah. Fireworks, Totoy doesn't do well on fireworks. Our Aspen, our local dog, our Filipino dog doesn't do really well with the fireworks. They don't really do fireworks here for 4th of July. Even June 12, when we had Independence Day for Filipino Independence Day, they don't really celebrate it with fireworks. Fireworks here is in December. December, New Year's, all that. Lots of fireworks here in the Philippines. All right, let me get tackling my topic. My topic this morning. Get my notes out ready here. These are just, I come up with some things that you may not know about the Philippines, different items, random stuff that I thought about. I mean, this topic could be endless. I could be doing a part 2, part 3 of this, and it will never end. There's so many topics to discuss that's different, that's kind of like Philippine, the way they do things here in the Philippines. So I'll just start talking about you may not know about the Philippines. I took care of his dog for almost a year while he was basic training. Ooh, advanced training, all right. Been missing for sure. I know, Joke, I know you had mentioned to me, man. That's hard. Dazzle and I, we always talk about Chloe still. Chloe passed away around Thanksgiving last year, but we got Kal-El now, so Kal-El helps, but we had Chloe for close to 12 years, so it's tough. It's tough losing a dog when you've had a dog for many years. Hello, Jim and Millie. All right, North Carolina. All right, Millie, Jim and Millie. Welcome to the live stream. Thank you for joining the live stream. Okay, I'm gonna start talking. Many like that. When you look at the Philippine history books, they even like the schools here in the Philippines. When they talk about the Philippines in school, when they teach the history of the Philippines, it's really from the eyes of like the Western view. It's like we were discovered by Magellan, Portuguese, that kind of thing. 1521 discovery of the Philippines, but that's when in Spain, Magellan discovered the Philippines 1521. That's when they start colonizing the Philippines. But Philippines has been around thousands of years, even before Magellan landed in the Philippines. Our language here in the Philippines, been around for 2,500 years. So but a lot of the history of the Philippines, unfortunately, kind of like when Spain came to the Philippines, they kind of like removed all the history of the Philippines, basically, because they're it's like we got discovered in 1512, but many people lived in the Philippine Islands way before 1521. The people that occupied the Philippines when it wasn't Filipinos yet, it wasn't known as Filipinos, it wasn't the Philippines yet, they originally came from Taiwan. If you look at the map of Taiwan and Luzon, the northern islands of the Philippines, man, it's a short boat ride. You can sail it really easy from Taiwan to northern Luzon. And that's what were the first inhabitants of the Philippines came from the inhabitants of Thailand. They were called the Austronesians. Yeah, that's a hand, I have to like pronounce that correctly. Austronesians. And they started to occupy Luzon, then they occupied Visayas, then they occupied Mindanao. That language, they spoke that on those islands, and in even past Mindanao, they even made it to like Malaysia and Indonesia. That's why you can see similarities in the language when you go to Malaysia and Indonesia from the Philippines. But like I was mentioning, it's kind of considered in the history books, the way they teach the kids here in the Philippines now, that the Philippines was discovered in 1521 by Ferdinand Magellan, he was a Portuguese sailing for the flag of Spain. And when they came here to the Philippines, they introduced Catholicism here. The difference I see, like I've traveled to Thailand, I traveled to like Malaysia, Indonesia, I've traveled, and I've noticed like on those countries, they kind of kept, like their religion, their culture. You can kind of see it in like the temples, Buddha, kind of thing. In the Philippines, it's basically a lot of churches, because when Spain colonized the Philippines, they wanted to convert everybody to become Catholics. That's why even to this day, majority of Filipinos are Catholics. The one thing I kind of always was curious why, Spain conquered many areas of the world. Mexico, Spanish speaking Latin America. They occupied a lot of Latin America. But here in the Philippines, I kind of always wondered, all these other countries, they speak Spanish. Here in the Philippines, they don't. We don't really, the Spanish language here is not well spoken. Maybe in Zamboanga, because they have a history there with the people speaking Spanish, but most Filipinos don't speak Spanish. I mean, there's a lot of similarities for Spanish and Filipino, but a lot of Filipinos don't speak Spanish because when Spain took over the Philippines, they wanted to push Catholicism, but they didn't push for the Filipinos to start speaking Spanish. I don't know why. I don't know. I mean, there's debate there. I did research, and what they said in the way Spain looked at it, the missionaries that came here to the Philippines that were spreading Catholicism, they just weren't teaching Spanish because there weren't that many of them. That's in my research. That's what I've seen. But to me, it doesn't make sense because the Americans came after the Spaniards and. In 1898, from 1898 till like World War II, English was taught by Americans. It's like we started speaking English, and even to this day, many Filipinos pretty good at speaking English. English is taught at schools. You go to school here in the Philippines, most private schools here in the Philippines, all the education is taught in English. Even for me, I went to school at Letron College in Manila back in the 70s. I graduated elementary school 1978. So all my elementary school years in Manila, I went to the all-boys Catholic school. We weren't allowed to speak Tagalog. Even our recess, we were supposed to everything in English. All the classroom, we had a Tagalog subject, but our conversations with a classmate, even recess, we were supposed to speak English back in the 70s. I don't know if they do that still now, but one thing I noticed, like the private schools, even here in Calibo, these kids are like, man, they're fluent in English. I got my friends here. They're sending their kids to private schools in Calibo, and they're like 4 or 5 years old, and they're fluent in English. It's like you couldn't tell they're Filipino almost. All right, I don't want to get too behind to the comments, so let me you can do boat rides, or they swam from Taiwan. It's a long swim. You got to be a pretty good swimmer there, Bill. But They use those boats called balangay. Balangay. That's the word balangay actually the word barangay now comes from balangay. Balangay was like a sailboat and the family lived in the sailboat. They cooked there, they fished there, they sleep there, and that barangay, it's kind of like a moving house. Very popular, I guess back in the day, Now they made that word barangay came from that word barangay. Your dog truly blessed, Joe, for sure, for sure. Philippines has a Spanish language dialect. Yes, I know about the dialect in Zamboanga. I do know about that one area in Zamboanga. The Zamboanga people in Mindanao, they speak Spanish. There's a dialect. But 99% of the country does not speak Spanish, Vaughn. That I know. I researched it. The youngest is in cybersecurity, Army Reserve. My middle son is munitions handling. Wife is logistics. Oh, nice, nice. Joe, that's cool. I just bosses him around at work. All right. The Americans introduced elementary school system. Joe Cano, my son-in-law. That was the difference, I think, with the. Just my opinion, just from my reading, the Spaniards when they colonized the Philippines, they weren't really into like teaching the Filipinos. They selected people. Which became kind of like the rich families here to this day. They got educated in Manila. Some of them even got educated in Spain. But for majority of the Philippines during that time, I think they just looked at the Filipinos as their workers. They even had a name for them, the Indios. Indios, kind of like a talking down to these people. They're not like us. The Spaniards did not look at Filipinos during that era as an equal. They looked at us as a labor. We work the farms. That's why they weren't really into like teaching us their language, the Spanish language, Spanish culture, and all that. That's why even now we retain. To me, it kind of worked out for the Philippines. I think it kind of worked out for the Philippines because when the Americans came in 1898, they were into teaching. They brought even here in New Washington, one of the New Washington Aklan. That's why the New Washington town here in Aklan is called New Washington for George Washington, because there was the Thomasites that came here to the Philippines and they were teaching Filipinos English. To me, they were just a better colonizer. They're a better colonizer because they tried to teach us, help us. With the Spaniards during their time here, I don't really think they looked at us as equal. They were looking at us as their labor. Interesting indeed that the language Spanish was not taught in the Philippines. Was that for them to immerse thoroughly? Think about it. The Spaniards were in the Philippines for 333 years. Over 300 years, the Spanish people were here, colonizing the Philippines. You would think they would have taught us how to speak Spanish for over 300 years, but they didn't. The Americans, they were here for less than 50. Less than 50 years, the Americans were here. But even to this day, you see all this English-speaking Filipinos, even here. Even now, our education system here runs English is the main language that's taught. Even the public schools here, like Eliana, she doesn't even go to private school. Most of her science, math, all that is taught in English. It's not, her books are not in Tagalog or the native, Aklanon language. Everything is taught in English here, which I think it kind of worked out for the Filipinos because it's a better language. It's a better language. Joe, those logistic ladies are something else. Say, hey, I am still in the Army Reserves, even though, all right. I live in Cavite, and what they have is Spanish Creole language called, that's the one. Thank you for mentioning that. I couldn't think of the Chabacano. But I know that's Chabacano. It's a dialect that's why people on Zamboanga, they can understand. A different variant. Okay, I didn't know they have a different variant in Chabacano, in Cavite. But I know, like I said, not many Filipinos that I know. I haven't even met. I've been here 15 years. I've never met a Filipino that speaks Spanish. Here, numbers are Spanish farming. Came from 45 ago from Taiwan. Pretty amazing to me. Repeat, mind boggled. Mind boggled. All right, all right. Cavite happened to be bridge between Manila, Acapulco trade. Oh, thank you. Thank you for that history. Thank you for that history lesson. I love history, man. That's why I like understanding how, I was just curious. I was like, what the heck, man? You guys were here. Spain was here, colonized the Philippines for over 300 years, and you can't teach us Spanish? It's like Americans were here for less than 50, and we all learned how to speak English. Many Filipinos were used to operate on ships, travel throughout the Spanish. Yes, yes, right on, right on. My feeling is the Spaniards came to take advantage. Thank you, Joe. I think you and me, we're kind of looking at it the same. The Spaniards, when they occupied the Philippines, they were just looking at us as labor. They just looking at us as labor. Resources, take over the resources. Not developing us, not helping us. Yeah, exactly. Americans weren't angels. I know that, but at least they educated us in English. A lot more opportunities for Filipinos with the Americans. Philippines and Filipinos was already OFW business from Spain. All right. Happy Fourth, happy Fourth. I can see the sometimes the glare from the sun here. I can't look. Let me go look at here because I don't want to Dexter. All right, G Dexter. All right. Sometimes I glare on the screen here. I can't. I have the blinds down, but it's like it's sunny. Man, it is sunny here. It doesn't even feel like rainy season because we've been getting hot weather. And here in Visayas, we're having power outages in Visayas because we're low in supply of electricity. We've been I would say every other day we're having a power outage here. It lasts about an hour. It's an issue. It's an issue here in Visayas region. Daniel, howdy. Good morning to all the Posse brothers. Oh, thank you, Bill. Yeah, we had Chloe for almost 12 years. She slept in our bed every night. Dazzle and I. That's why. We weren't gonna get another dog, but Dazzle wanted Kal-El, so I'm glad we did because he has helped a lot. Because when we lost Chloe, it was right around Thanksgiving. It didn't even feel festive for us, even during the December months. We didn't really celebrate Christmas because we were kind of down from losing Chloe. My late dad speaks Chabacano fluently. However, he did not teach me. What I learned was Aklanon, my mom. All right, all right. Hi, Daniel. Hi, Daniel. Hello. Okay, Bon. The English instruction of the U.S. and it was to solve U.S. labor problems. It's the colonizer-colonized relationship. All right. Gino, I think we only got one generic in English. It's English. Daniel, all right. Hey, are you considering getting another Blue Yeti? Actually, I've had this now for like 6 years. I am thinking of upgrading my Blue Yeti to a bigger unit, a lot bigger than this one, because I've seen Blue Yeti that can power like a 0.5 horsepower AC, like a small AC, can run a small AC. Definitely, if this Blue Yeti I have is supposed to have like a 10 year like a life expectancy. I'm going on year 7, so but when it's time for me to replace it, I'm gonna replace it with a bigger one, with a bigger unit. That's why I'm not really, people always tell me about getting the solar system. I'm not sold on the solar system. I think it just costs too much, to spend. for me to spend like $500,000 pesos, $9,000, just so I can have solar power in the house. And I know once it's installed, it's not like your expenses are done, right? You still got maintenance on the battery. You might have to replace, whatever you got, maintenance to support it. So I think I'm just gonna. I like the plug and play. I like the Blue Yeti. I like it to where I just plug stuff to it and it works. Instead of like wires going through my house, inverter getting installed in the wall and all that. I think I'll go with the. But I am gonna get a bigger Blue Yeti once. I've actually been looking. Just to help us have more power in the house. Bro, you getting all the baddies in your prime. The baddies in your prime. Okay, I don't know that. Do you think power issues is in Iloilo also? When I was in Iloilo, we did one time. I think when was that? Maybe 2 years ago, they had a big problem with the I don't know now. I don't know, but I'm sure it's happening in Iloilo too, because it's the whole Visayas region. It's not just Panay Island. It's also Negros Island, where Dumaguete, Bacolod. It's also Cebu. It's also Leyte and Samar. It's just the whole grid in the Visayas region. We go from yellow being like a warning to red, where guarantee you're gonna lose power. But it's for people here, young fresh. I know it. Americans, you guys, it's a big deal. Oh, electricity! I can't live without But for us here, man, it's just way of life here. We've adjusted. We've learned to like I said, if there's a 12-hour power outage, more likely I would be going to a resort. I would be going to the beach. The last 12-hour power outage last Sunday, we stayed at an Airbnb. That's because it's just too hot during the day. But if it's happened at night, not too bad. If it happens during the rainy season, it's not bad, because when it's raining, it's not as warm. But summertime, it becomes unbearable without air conditioning here. God made dogs to provide humans with unconditional love, loyal, for sure. And we're so happy with Kal-El. Kal-El is kind of like our baby now. Our new Shih Tzu, 8 months. 8 months. Kal-El is 8 months now. Will you make it Gino's birthday celebration? Yes, Daniel will be at my birthday celebration. I'm gonna be picking him up July 29 at the airport, bringing him to Calibo, and he'll be at my birthday party. Daniel did not want to miss it. Daniel didn't want to miss it. I saw something called Anchor. Yeah, Anchor, EcoFlow, plug and play. They're all plug and play. They're like square units. You kind of just, I like those better than having something installed. You can get solar panels for them, the foldable solar panel. You can get, I just don't like the idea of putting solar panels on our roof. Our roof is a second floor already. And I've been through like a super typhoon Ursula here, 2019. And man, I thought my roof was gonna blow off. My whole house was shaking. It felt, we get strong winds. We get strong winds here during a super typhoon. So I couldn't imagine if I had solar panels up there. I'm sure they would have flown off or something. It would have been damaged. And then like I said, I prefer just having the plug and play. If you're gonna get, yes, definitely, I'm gonna get a bigger Blue Yeti for sure. They've a couple of models coming up. A couple of models are coming out. They're getting better. With the portable solar systems. I killed it. No idea how to maintain solar. I think the power station is just. It is. It will be, man. For what you need, I know you want to work online or be. That's the main thing, right? Be connected online. And then with a bigger power station, Blue Yeti, you can run fans. You can run desk fans. You can run, and that's all you need here. If you have a fan, you're fine. Most people that move here, they adjust to just living with the electric fan, not having AC 24/7. are part of your life. Oh yeah, it definitely, man. I felt it, Bill. I felt, we buried Chloe in our land in Katiklan, so cement and everything. So we get to visit her, but yeah, she was part of our family for sure. One thing that is helpful, portable lights. You can charge them uh, around. Oh yeah, plenty of those. Those are easy, man. The portable lights, they have them all over here. You can just buy it, and it's got like a solar panel on it. You can light your whole house with that. That's very common. A lot of Filipinos do that. Room 9, La Casa, 1,000%. Be at Gino's Big 60th. Had my tickets, hotel, a month ago. I'm just scared because I need to work remotely and work. Yeah, if all your worries is working remotely, young fresh. For me, if you're working remotely, you're gonna live in Antique province. Definitely have a Blue Yeti power station. They're affordable now. They're not that expensive. And then consider, since you're working online, get yourself that Starlink. It's like available here in the Philippines, mobile and residential Starlink. That way you're not worried about your internet issues. That's what most digital nomads, that's what they do here. I know a couple of people have Blue Yeti and like it. Oh, I love this. Man, I love this little Blue Yeti I have. But when I upgrade, I'm gonna go with a bigger model. Hello, Peanut Butter Travels. Peanut Butter Travels. Young Fresh. But where do you buy it? Lazada. Lazada's got it. And it's a Blue Yeti company out of Laguna. When you buy something in Lazada, always look for it says it on the ad. L-A-Z Mall. Laz Mall. Those are credible. The ones without the Laz Mall, I would never buy anything from them. It's like, it's kind of like eBay. It's like you want to be like in the legit distributor of Blue Yeti. You don't want to be buying your Blue Yeti from some dude, for some dude. But you can also go to Wilcon Depot. If you go to Wilcon Depot, there's Wilcon Depot everywhere in the Philippines. They sell EcoFlow and they sell Anchor. I might just go with the one at Wilcon Depot because with the Blue Yeti, it's got to be shipped to me. So depending on price, because they're pretty much all the same. They're pretty much all the same. Good morning to you, Jay. There he is, Michael S. Man, I know you're getting on your flight soon back to the Philippines, man. Safe travels, my brother. Safe travels. Hey, there's the Colonel Chronicles. Good morning. All right, sports fans, Castaway. All right. Do you know if I'm still confused about the different parts of the Philippines? The Messiah, I guess I've learned. Oh yeah, you'll learn it easy. I mean, it's easy enough to get a map of the Philippines. That way you know the zone, Visayas and Mindanao. I mean, the Philippines kind of complicated with all the islands, where all the Americans are living here, Dumaguete, Angeles City, and all that. But easy enough to just get a map of the Philippines, but worry about it when you're here. You'll figure it out once you're here. Joe Cano, hi Colonel and Crizel, Bond, Colonel Chronicles. Hello, flight starts July 9th. So ready to get back. All right, safe travels again, my brother. My brother from another castaway trip. RVS is good. Yep. The Blue Yeti RVS. S is the S? Let me see here. RV5. Yeah, don't do the solar thing, Gino. I don't think it's worth it. I mean, I know a lot of expats have it here, Bill, but I don't have half a million pesos that I can just splurge. To me, that's a luxury. That's a luxury for me. But I know, there's a lot of expats that are well off. They got the money. It's like I'm not mad at them. If I had their kind of money, I would have solar installed also. But I'm budget. I'm on a budget retirement. I don't even have my Social Security yet. Once I get my Social Security in 2 years, maybe let's talk solar power then. Safe travels, Castaway Drive. Thanks so much for the advice. Last mall, correct. Last mall. That's the way on Lazada. Don't buy anything. when you don't see that last small in Lazada. I need to order a power station from a girl and her mom, but have no idea. Yeah, if it says last mall, I have bought my GoPro from them. I bought an iPhone for them. I bought a Blue Yeti. But as long as it says last mall, guaranteed, it's a authorized distributor. They're legit, and then you can look at their reviews. They're gonna have thousands of reviews. So that's the way to pick when you're buying in Lazada. Morning, Colonel. God bless. Got to run. Okay, Vaughn. All right. Have a great day. Have a great day, Vaughn. Lowell, later. All right. All right. Okay. Yeah. Foldable solar panels. So I don't even have the foldable solar panels for my Blue Yeti because when I need to charge it, I charge it on the wall or I charge it in my car if it's more than a couple of days that we don't have electricity. To me, it's extra expense. I mean, they're cheaper now. The foldable panels, they're about $200, but yeah, but to me, that would be just something more clutter. I don't like cluttering our house. We have a small house here. Which do you use more, Gcash or Wise? I don't have Wise. I use Gcash, strictly Gcash. You are blessed, Joe. All right, all right, all right. So I talked a little bit about America. They taught us English, but even though 333 years we were colonized by Spain, close to 50 years by Americans, we still held on to like our culture, and that's what I'm going to talk to you about next. Here in the Philippines, how Filipinos, what's big with Filipinos is they're relational people. There's a word here in the Philippines called kapwa, Kapwa. And kapwa is like caring about other people. That's why here in the Philippines, fiesta, it's like in our province of Aklan, we have a fiesta here every single month. There is not a month here from January to December that there's not a fiesta in Aklan province somewhere. Even here in our town of Numancia, we have about 15 or so barangays. Each of the barangays, they celebrate their fiesta at a different time. And during fiesta, if I'm like, okay, there's a fiesta in Barangay Albasan, the next barangay, I can just show up at that fiesta, and people are just walking around. You can walk to people's houses. They'll invite you. They see you. Hey, come eat our lechon. They'll be like roasting a pig. The Filipinos, it's just like that. The kapwa, they want to take care of people. Also happens during calamities here. It's like when there's like a typhoon, earthquake, volcanic eruptions, people help each other out here. They bring in people to their homes. Expat life, Belus is a perfect example. He's American, his wife's Filipina, but they bring people inside their house. When there's a power outage, a big storm coming, they open their house to like give people like food. Food. His wife will cook them food. They can stay there. They can stay online. That's just the way it is here in the Philippines. You got kapwa. Oh man, thank you so much. Next upgrade. Oh wow. Excellent. Belus, thank you so much, my brother. They put a heart on that. Thank you so much, brother. I appreciate that super chat. Definitely, I'm gonna put that fund towards our next Blue Yeti power station. Appreciate it, my brother. It's just a culture here in the Philippines. It's a culture of sharing, and it kind of ties into one of the things Filipinos are known across the world. It doesn't matter when we go to the U.S. It doesn't matter where we go. The hospitality of the Filipino, I carry it. It's like I always kind of wonder where I got that from, because I knew I learned it from my mom. Because even though I was 12 when I left the Philippines to go to the United States, and then I lived there for over 30 years, I've never lost that being hospitable. It's part of me because I'm born and raised in the Philippines. Even now, it's like it's nothing for me to, like, if a friend's coming, it's nothing for me to pick him at the airport, take him around here, whatever you need, that's just the Filipino way, to us, to me, it's normal. It's not something that, that it's natural. It comes natural for me. And that's kapwa, again, Kapwa. There's a bond here with Filipinos. Through good times, fiesta, through the good times, everybody's celebrating, yeah, and through bad times too, when we hit by calamities. Oh, thank you so much, Young Fresh. I appreciate that, my brother. Thank you so much. Man, I'll be buying that Blue Yeti here before you know it. Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate that. Wow. So many things I have missed about the Philippines. I've had many reassurances while being here in the States. I'm full of more life in the Philippines. The itch is, I know, right? I know you're ready. You're ready to come back to the Philippines when you landed in the States. It's just a different vibe. And I know Michael. I know he's feeling it because here there's just like a community here. People talk to you here. Like when I walk in my neighborhood here, we're like, Kuya Rex, yesterday I was just talking to him. He was washing and waxing his new Subaru. We bought a new Subaru. And me and him were like talking for 30, 45 minutes, just like chatting away on like, just having a conversation, You just don't have, I know it's like, in the US, that dynamic that doesn't exist with a lot of people. A lot of times when I lived in the US, wherever I lived in the US, when I lived in Arizona, when I lived in California, a lot of times, you see your neighbor, you go, what's up? You wave and that's about it. You don't know their name half the time. You don't know who they are, but you want to be nice, want to be polite and say, give them a wave. But here, people talk to each other here. People share their lives here. Hey, I'm having a birthday in August 1st. Come on over to my birthday, kind of thing. It's like I would invite the people here in the neighborhood that we're friends with. One of the things that you will experience here in the Philippines, guaranteed, every single one of you, when you come here to the Philippines, you will experience this. When a Filipino is eating, like let's say they're in their house, they're eating, and you're walking by some, you just can't come happen to walk into their house when someone is eating. That person that is eating, whatever they're eating, even if it's like one small dish that they're eating, they're gonna tell you, kain tayo. They're gonna invite you to sit down and eat with them. If somebody's drinking coffee, the security guard at the gate. If I'm doing my morning walk, at Camellia, and he's having his morning cup of coffee, and I'm passing, kuya, kopi, kape, they'll invite you for coffee. Same thing with alcohol. It's gonna happen to you. If there's a group of guys by the sari-sari store, or here in our neighborhood, they just put a bench and people start drinking Tanduay or Red Horse or whatever, and I happen to just pass by, they're gonna go, oh, shot, kuya, shot, or here's like, that's just the way Filipinos are. It's not, that dynamic is so common here. You're gonna experience it here. It's the polite way Filipinos are. When they're eating, when they're drinking, doesn't matter. They will invite you to join them. The Colonel said, some might say Marites, some say Marites is like the people that kind of like to gossip. There's usually in every neighborhood here in the Philippines, there's usually that Marites. The kind of like the CCTV of the neighborhood. They look out their window. Oh, what's going on outside? There's always somebody like that here in the Philippines. Usually like the older generation, the Marites, nosy. They're nosy. They want to be involved, but they want to find out everybody's business. Ooh, he got a new car. Ooh, the Colonel got a new multi-cab. They're so concerned about what other people are doing here. Jokano, girl. Colonel, all right, Colonel slapping, all right. But another concept that remains, it kind of ties into kapwa, caring about your fellow man, your fellow Filipino kapwa. Another term here, you hear it, is bayanihan. Bayanihan, it all, the image of bayanihan here in the Philippines, it came from like, back in the day, people live in bamboo homes, bamboo, nipa, and when you move, back in the day when you move your house, you move your bamboo, and people have to like lift it. And you still see it actually here in the province. You go to some of the provinces here in the Philippines, it still happens. They might have constructed your bamboo hut or whatever, put it together, and now you're gonna put it somewhere in your land, and people lift those things, man. You're gonna have like 15, 20 people lifting the whole house, made of bamboo, carrying it. And that's where the bayanihan spirit comes. But now it's, you don't see that much anymore, as far as, now we got cement homes and all that. But that bayanihan spirit, you can see that with Filipinos, especially, we get a lot of calamities in the Philippines, a lot of typhoons, earthquakes, that's where you will see the bayanihan spirit here. Even the politician, even the politicians, during calamities here, you start seeing them handing out things, like food, supplies, and all that. Even politicians, they're all not all bad. Not, politicians sometimes do good things also. Chismoso again, marites, chismosa. Gossiper, that's what Flyboy is saying. But there's a lot of cultural beliefs, a lot of that's still maintained. And I know this didn't come from like America or Spain, like this one I'm going to mention to you next is sukob. Is spelled Sukob, sukob. This is a cultural belief here in the Philippines, and most Filipinos abide by this belief, the sukob. If one person in the family, like let's say Dazzle and them, there's like 5 of them. If Dazzle got married this year, nobody else in her family can get married this year. I don't know where that came from, but that's the way Filipinos. That's still many believe that, and Filipinos are kind of superstitious anyway, but that was one of the belief. If you have a sibling, if your Filipina has siblings, and one of her sisters got married this year, you can't marry your Filipina this year. You gotta wait till next year to marry your Filipina. One of the pamahiin is the word here they use. It's kind of like you don't want to not follow the sukob or the pamahiin, because it might bring you bad luck. That's why they follow the tradition of sukob. Like no 2 members of the same family can get married in the same year. This one, I know many people know this already, like mano po, you take somebody's hand, an elderly person, our grandparents, our lolo, lola, you take their hand and then you like bow down, put it on your forehead. Many people know that already. But if you're an expat here, don't be surprised if that happens to you, because if you're like, you're elderly, you're like in your 60s, little kids, if they, come visit you, they'll grab your hand and then they'll do that. And you're going like, what the heck's going on? What the heck's going on? But that's all that is. It's all out of respect. Watching James and Karen's adventure, when they run into issues, they are swarmed with local. Exactly. That is the bayanihan spirit, Joe. Like I said, I think I've mentioned this before in my live streams. I've had flat tires on my car. The issue was like when I replaced the new tires from my car, I replaced all 4 tires. I think it was the valve. I was having issues with the valve. So every so often, one of the right tire was flat. The left, they had to replace the valve. But every time I had a flat tire, man, it felt like I had my own pit crew because I can't lift a lot of things now because with my treatments, my doctor warned me about lifting heavy, so I would have a hard time to replace the tire in my car, but that's all night we never worry, because I would say the last 2 years I've had maybe five flat tires, and I never had to change my tire. There's always groups of people like they'll all of a sudden they see you on the road, they'll just come out of nowhere, and they go, "Oh, where's your jack? Where's your?" They're so eager to help, and that's why we don't have AAA. We don't even have like a towing company here. Like if my car breaks down. There's not one of those towing trucks where they can pull it on the truck and then take my car. It's gonna have to be pulled by another car, pushed or something. But it's not an issue here because you will not have a shortage of people wanting to help. Superstition, many, right, Emilio? Philippines, man, and that's just a start. I'm gonna talk to you more about superstition or belief here. Believer. One of the beliefs here in the Philippines is the word. You will hear this when you're Filipina or some. You might experience this. If you're out, let's say you're hiking. You're hiking up in the mountains or something, and you're getting into this area where it's not a common area, or maybe people believe that there's supernatural stuff happening in the area. So Filipinos, they will say this. They will say, tabi-tabi po, tabi-tabi po, out of respect to because even though a lot of Filipinos are Catholic, born again Christian, Protestant, Baptist, you name it, there are still, before all that religion came here to the Philippines, there were many beliefs here in the Philippines that were kind of like more like the spirits, the spirit of the jungle or the spirit of the water. So Filipinos will do that. If they're walking in an area, jungle-looking area that's not familiar to them, and they don't want to make the spirits mad, or so they're gonna go tabi-tabi po, and that's just out of respect. And people still do that. I've heard that with Dazzle, because there's areas in Katiklan where our land is that's still pretty jungle looking there, and there's areas there like the locals there, they know there's some stuff that happens in that land. You better say tabi-tabi po when you go in that area. It's just a way of paying respect, because they're afraid that if you don't say tabi-tabi po, that whatever spirit, whatever that land, you might get cursed, and who wants to be cursed? Nobody wants to. Hey, if I'm walking in that area, I'm going I might not believe what they're believing about this place, but if they're saying tabi-tabi po, I'm like, tabi-tabi po, because I do not want to piss off any spirit or anything like that. It's like I have enough worries already. Don't want to make anybody mad, make any spirit supernatural or whatever, even though I don't believe that stuff, but hey, it can't hurt. It can't hurt. January 1st must be a big wedding day in large families. In large families, right? January 1st. Never drive straight home after a funeral so the spirits don't follow you. All right. I haven't heard that one, but I would not be surprised if they believe. I mean, they believe in so many superstitions here, so many beliefs here that I'm still learning. There's still things that I'm learning from people here. Like mom's got so many. Like I've never heard of that, and she's like educating me on some of these beliefs here. Is Caliber or Tique believe in ghosts? Or Capiz province, Antique, here in Panay Island, they believe in this like supernatural being that the bottom part of the person or the being, the top part can fly. It's like they're aswang too. They believe in aswang here. It's like a supernatural, like a crazy being. The province people, especially the people in the province. witchcraft, right? There's people that practice that here in the Philippines. There, those voodoo dolls and all that. They got people in the Philippines practicing that also here. A stranger giving too much attention to a baby can bring bad luck to it. Huh? See, that's another. So you know a few, Joe. You know a few, man. But here in the Philippines, many. There are many superstitions like that. Let me just go to the next page. There was one I wanted to mention too about. It's called. They call it here pasma, PASMA, pasma. Pasma is like when you're outside doing activity. Doing. Let's say you're like a farmer or you like me. I play basketball. I'm sweating outside. There's a belief here in the Philippines that pasma, if all of a sudden I came home and I took a shower, which is cold shower here. It's like most Filipinos don't take hot shower. There's not many hot Filipino homes here with hot water. They have this thing called pasma where it's gonna cause something with my muscles or something. You can. That is so common. Like mom does it to me. Aren't you worried you're gonna go pasma? It's like because me, when I lived in the United States, we had gym class, right? In the United States, you would go to gym class, shoot hoops, soccer, whatever. After gym class, you're in the shower, taking a shower, and you don't cool off before you take a shower. Actually, the shower kind of cools you off. But here in the Philippines, they have that thing called pasma, and you hear it often, like, oh man, you can't do that. You're gonna hurt yourself. You're gonna have your muscles are gonna tighten up. Something's gonna go wrong with your muscles. And I'm like, I've always, even when I lived in Boracay, I would run on the beach in Boracay. After my run, the very first thing I do is I swim in the ocean to cool off. But you will see that belief here. You will see that belief here with people. Being out in the rain. Well, yeah, thank you, Joe. Actually, that was one of my lists. I was gonna, I'm glad you know that. Filipinos have that belief that when it starts raining outside, you can't go outside. You're gonna get sick. I'm like, it's like from the water. You're gonna get sick from the water. It's like, but those are just kind of the things that. Oh, thank you, Colonel. That's cute. That's cute. The trophy, man. Thank you for that. The goat trophy from the Colonel, man. The goat trophy. I think everybody already knows this, but I'm gonna mention it anyway. Here in the Philippines, we probably have the longest Christmas celebration in the world. I've never been in any country in the world where you start celebrating Christmas or start putting out your decorations the minute September. First day of September, BER, Burr months is what they call it here in the Philippines. You're gonna see the malls start playing Christmas music, displays Christmas trees. They start selling Christmas trees, Christmas lights. You might as well leave your lights for the next year. I noticed some of my neighbors, they haven't put down their Christmas lights. So now we're in July, so September is not far behind, so they don't have to put up their lights anymore. But we have the longest Christmas celebration here in the Philippines. The whole month of December, all kinds of activities for the whole month of December. My girl and I was in Makati and it was pouring rain. She said, we should not walk in the rain. We will get sick. Well, I know. And that's common, very common. I'm glad Joe mentioned it. One of the Philippines being a very religious country, again, Catholics is majority, but you got like LDS, you got INC, you got born again, Protestant, you just got a lot of religion. Muslims in the Philippines. One thing you're not going to see a lot of, especially with Filipinos, you might see it with foreigners, of course, is an atheist. I have met a Filipino that was an atheist, one of my classmates when I was in college. But very rare do you meet a Filipino that doesn't believe in God or a religion. You know, very rare, very rare. Because most families here in the Philippines, religion is a big piece that bonds them. Most families, the whole family, like the mom and dad, the kids, the cousins, most of the time they belong to a certain religion here in the Philippines. So not many atheists, not Filipinos especially. You're not gonna meet a lot of Filipinos that are atheists here. I know it's nothing bad about atheists. I know in America, everybody's free to believe what they want to believe. Yeah, you don't have to be a believer. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But I just wanted to mention that if you don't have a religion, or if you don't believe in any type of religion, you might harder to be with Filipinos, because most Filipinos, they believe in something. That might be a contention for disagreement. Don't just so you know, that's so you know. Filipina think they will melt from the rain. They will melt from the rain. How's the power outage there? Do you guys have brownout schedule? The scheduled power outage, Emilio, I would say during the summer months, maybe once every month. The 12-hour scheduled power. Less actually towards rainy season. We have less of those. A lot of the scheduled power outage, what they do here, trees grow well here because of it rains, sunshine. A lot of your power lines, the trees are like get into the power line. So they cut the power for 12 hours so they can trim the trees. That way, when it's typhoon season, the tree's not gonna fall and more damage. So preventive maintenance. But so really the unscheduled ones, that can happen at any time. Like right now, like I mentioned, we're in the yellow category right now, like warning yellow, where we can lose power anytime. That's why when I do the live streams, I'm always hooked up to the Blue Yeti here. I saw your blog yesterday when you're in Yeah, I filmed that last Sunday. I filmed that video last Sunday, and it came out last night. Because what I do is, like right now, I have like 5 videos ready to go. And I scheduled it every other day at midnight. That's why our videos always come out at midnight. I just set a schedule. So right now, basically for the next 10 days, I'm free to not even make a video. And I like to stay ahead like that. That way, that's how I make YouTube doesn't feel like work, because I can take long breaks from YouTube, and that's why I started limiting the live stream also, because I don't want to ever feel like YouTube is work, and then it gives me more time to I get video calls from people. Lowell, I was just video calling with him yesterday. The day before, I was video call with this couple in California, because people want to meet me, they want that personal touch. And I always say, I'm always willing to help, especially the ones that are serious about moving, they're into the home stretch. I call it the home stretch, like Joe Cano. I know Joe Cano is on the home stretch, man. Joe Cano is selling his house in the United States. So I know once he sells his house, it's going to be fast that he'll be here. So if he's wanting a video call with me, I want to help him. I want to kind of support him, questions that he has, because a lot of questions for people when they're moving here. You got your visa question, your banking question, your housing question. There's so many questions that I can't hit it all in the live stream here. That's why it makes sense that to me that I have more time to do video calls with people. Tap the thumbs up, folks. Thank you, Colonel. Appreciate that. Hi, bro, Gino, Ricardo. All right. Paul Morgan, my friend in Iloilo City. Hello, Paul, my brother. I talked to, next topic. One of the things that you'll hardly ever see here in the Philippines is a dishwasher. I can't remember the last time I seen a dishwasher here in the Philippines. I guess the dishwasher here is the people. I'm the dishwasher. Leanna's the dishwasher, but you're not gonna find a dishwasher here. If you do, more like that SNR, you would buy a dishwasher. You would have a hard time explaining to the people how to set it up and all that. I mean, it could be done. It could be done. Same thing almost with a clothes dryer. Not a common thing in the Philippines, like those electric clothes dryer, or sometimes I know gas operated to clothes dryer. You don't see those two things, not common items here. The clothes dryer here is hanging your clothes out in the sun. I don't care if it's like here in Camellia, there's big homes here. I've toured some of the big homes here. 14 million peso homes, close to $200,000 homes here, big houses here. They got a clothesline. It's just, taking advantage of the sun. It's like, why not, right? Save you money on electricity or gas. Mall entrance. When you're going into the mall here in the Philippines, I know when I was in the United States, I never experienced this. When I'm going at the mall in the U.S., you just walk in. Just walk in the mall. Here in the Philippines, if you're going to a SM Mall, Robinson's Mall, Grand Gaisano Mall, I don't care what mall you enter here in the Philippines, you're gonna go through security. There's gonna be a security guy, sometimes with a shotgun, homemade shotgun. I don't know how it really works or not, but don't be shocked with that. There's gonna be a separate line. When you're walking into the mall, the male go to the right, the female go on the left. Now I've noticed more female security guards because when you go, they don't always do it. They're supposed, sometimes you get wanded, like sometimes I'm going into the mall and, that wand, they kind of check for weapons, I guess. But now I'm seeing more and more females, because, that could be an issue, right? It's like a female, a customer, and then a male trying to wand or trying to check them for weapons, kind of thing. But very common here, very common here. It's hard to find a mall without any security guards at the entrance to the mall. And not only at the entrance to the mall, of course, banks, you almost expect banks to have security guards. Many security guards at the bank. It ain't gonna be one or two security guards with shotguns, like I said. And a lot of times the banks even will lock their door. There's a security guard, two security guards outside. The bank doors are locked. There's a security guard inside. And they'll check you first outside, and the guy will like open the door and let you in. That's how strict they are. I mean, I see that in Calibo. I can't say they do it at every bank, but I know in Calibo, my bank, Philippine National Bank in Calibo, when I go there, I'm like getting checked outside the bank. The guy, the security guard, that's inside the bank is like, okay, I can open the door for him. It's like unlock the door and let me in. That's just the way it is here. Even when you go to a Jollibee, you go to McDonald's, they got security guards there. You go to a pharmacy, like Mercury Drug, Watson, everything, every place that you go here will have security guards. And it's not because it's unsafe, or a lot of the security guards here, they do a lot more as a security guard, especially like here in our community, Camellia Clan, our gate, our security guards. Man, they do a lot more than just racing the boom or like waving you through with your car. I mean, they're a lot of them are medical trained. They got like a medic bag, a little like first aid kit. They have a first aid kit. Keep the peace. A lot of times it's the customers. Sometimes the customers get into an argument. Sometimes the cashier gets in an argument with the customer. They're just there to keep the peace. It's not like they got all these security guards here in the Philippines because this place is so unsafe or dangerous. Nothing like that. It's very common for even my water. When I pay my water bill, there's a Numancia Water District. They got two security guards there just for me to. Most of my bills here in the Philippines, like my cable, my internet Kalibo cable. I can pay with GCash online. I don't have to go there. Electricity, Akelco, I can pay online with GCash. One bill that I can pay with GCash is my water bill from Numancia Water District. So I actually have to go there. I wish, that way all my bill, that's just the one bill I can pay with my GCash. So I actually have to show up there and go to that place. But don't be surprised at the amount of security guards here. Like I said, it's not because it's dangerous here. It's just the way it is. Again, to keep the peace, keep everything organized. It's like some people might like to cut in line, kind of thing. It's like when you got a security guard, hey, this guy's cutting in line. You can point it to the security guard. And, that way you don't have to get in an argument with somebody, right? If somebody cut in front of you and you really want to, hey, you cut in line. You don't want to get in an altercation with that individual. Just point, call the security guard. Hey, this guy cut in line. Then the security guard will take care of that, That would be the safe way. That would be the safe way to do it. That way you don't get into like a argument, like next thing you know, you're like, hey, what's up? It's like, I see shorter brown dishwasher all the time on videos in the Philippines. Shorter brown dishwasher. In the summer, we would hang our clothes to dry in the U.S. Yeah, here pretty much like us. We don't have a dryer, so we hang our clothes throughout the year. Like when it's raining, when it's the rainy season here, we have like an overhang, like it's covered, so we can still hang our clothes and the wind will dry it. So even if it's not sunny, there's many days here during the rainy season, it's not gonna be sunny, but we continue to wash and hang our clothes because we have like a cover, like at our carport. I can hang clothes there and the wind will dry our clothes. It doesn't smell as good. It doesn't smell. You have to use more fabric softener when there's no sunshine. But when there's sun, your clothes smell good. It gets dried really fast. I have a dishwasher in my kitchen, but with just me, it's easier to hand wash. Yeah, that's the same. We wouldn't have a space for a dishwasher anyway. Plus, we got Liana. Liana's our dishwasher, man. Filipino dishwasher. All right. Okay. One of the things that you're gonna see here in the province, Kalibo being one, Numancia, the whole Aklan province is parking. Parking here in the province. This is 100% for me. People park anywhere here. I actually have never heard anybody or seen anybody get a parking ticket in Kalibo. I know they have Kalibo Auxiliary Police. They're like, they're not real cops, but they wear a t-shirt that says KAP, Kalibo Auxiliary, I don't think they can write tickets. I've never seen them write tickets. I think the only person that can really write a ticket will be a cop. But I've never seen anybody get a ticket in Kalibo. That's why there's a parking problem. That's why there's a parking problem in Kalibo. You would see like big signs that says no parking, and that's where people park. People put their motorbikes on the sidewalk, actual sidewalk. I filmed that on my last video. You can see I'm walking on the sidewalk. It's like, where am I supposed to walk now? There's a motorbike, there's a tricycle parked on the sidewalk. Even on the highway here in Aklan province, big project here. A lot of Aklan province, when I first got here 15 years ago, it was like 2 lanes. 1 lane going this way, 1 lane going that way. They had a thing here called road widening. They widened the road. They made it 2 lanes on this way, 2 lanes in there. So instead of 2 lanes, now it's 4 lanes. But really, it's still 2 lanes. Because what happened, those extra lanes, it's become parking. People park their cars on the highway. Also, it's become a place to dry rice. It's like you see all these rice, I guess the rice stalks, when it's time to harvest it, you gotta dry it. And they dry it right there on the road, right on the highway, So really the road widening, it helped a little, because now, there's areas where when you can pass people on the highway, it makes it easier to pass. But you can pretty much park anywhere, you know. Now, I don't want Dazzle to hear that you can park anywhere, because she tells me you can park there. She's the police, man. She's like, babe, you can't park there. You can't park. She says no parking. You know, it's like Dazzle is like law abiding. Dazzle's a law abiding citizen. Oh, and the other thing about parking, another thing I gotta mention about parking, there's this thing here that Filipinos do. I don't know if it happens in the city. Probably not. Probably just a province thing. But Filipinos here, it doesn't matter if it's a 2-lane road, whatever. They will stop in the middle of the road and hit their hazard light. You know, those blinkers, like the two blinkers of the lights. And they'll stop right there. Engine running, blinkers going, and if I'm driving, I'm right behind it. It's like, okay, what's going on? You know, this guy, you know, I got to get around this guy, right? But a lot of times they're just going to get off their vehicle. They're going to walk to like a shop, 7-Eleven, get a drink. You know, the hazard, you know, that thing in your car where you hit, you know, flashing lights, they think it's a parking stop, you know, a parking. I can park anywhere as long as I got this. You know, it's like you will see that. I'm guaranteed you will experience that here, where in the middle of the road, it could be traffic going. You know, it's like tricycles. All of a sudden, you see the blinkers. That means that guy is stopping right there in the middle of the road. You will experience that. If you're here in Calibo, I've experienced it many times in Calibo. Right there, the Colonel said, parking, isn't that just stopping on the road? Right, Colonel? Like I said, Colonel, if you stop in the middle of the road, you put the hazard light. Chick, 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 chick. You're good to go. You're good to go. People are like, they're like, I'm not going to lie. I saw this in Numancia. I was like right behind this guy. Big truck too. Big, like a Toyota Hilux. He did that. He did that flashing, right? And I couldn't pass because it's in the middle of the town. So there's a lot of traffic. So I couldn't just pass him. So I had to wait. And what was he doing? He was running into the 7-Eleven to get a drink. That was him. I was like, dang. So I gotta wait here for this. You know, it's like, but I you know, maneuver. You know, finally got some clearance, and but if I couldn't clear, if there was traffic on the other side, I would have just been stuck there because this guy was getting a drink at 7-Eleven. You beat me to it. You beat me to it. All right, Colonel. You beat me to it. Now, I want to talk to you about the pedestrian lane. Pedestrian lane. Here in the province, we do have pedestrian lane. Believe it or not, believe it or not. Like in Calibo, at the 4-way traffic light intersection, they actually have the walking man thing. They got pedestrian lane on the highway. Even on our highway, 4-lane highway, 2 lanes, 4 lane. There's a pedestrian there. But most people, it doesn't matter if you're standing ready to cross a pedestrian lane. Sometimes it doesn't even matter if you're in the middle of you're already walking. They're not going to stop for you in the pedestrian lane there. So very dangerous, right? Very dangerous. Know that. Leanna's school. I always have to Leanna's 13, but you know, I always have to walk her. Imagine this in Leanna's school. It's a school zone. Pedestrian lane. There's even a guy there waving people, you know, with a whistle, right? Like a traffic guard. But cars zoom past it, motorbikes zoom past it. If they see a kid walking the pedestrian, they're trying to get ahead of the kid. Instead of like stopping, they want to, I have space, I can, you know. And actually in Calibo now, a few months ago, a kid got hit. School zone in front of the kid was crossing the pedestrian lane in front of the school, and the kid got hit hard too, man. It's so awful. And the guy was just I don't know what the guy was thinking, you know, but it happens. One thing I'm going to teach you, you're going to learn this from me, you know. I'm going to give you advice when you're crossing the street here on a pedestrian lane. All you got to do, don't guarantee it'll work, but I've got pretty good percentage of it working. When you're in a pedestrian lane and you start walking and you see cars coming, motorbikes or whatever, do one of this. Do one of this, man. Just do one of this. Like, show them your hand. Show them your hand. I think I don't know if it's my superpower or anything. When I show them my hand, it's kind of like, I guess it's kind of rude to really like keep going, right? Because every time if I'm walking at the pedestrian, I'm crossing the street, and I do one of this, I show that, they stop. I guess that's my superpower. So now don't bank on it though. You still got to be careful, because there's still drivers there that might not stop at you. But try that. If you're crossing the street, show the hand to like incoming traffic, and you'll have luck. Most of the time they'll stop. The other thing is turning right or left from the wrong lane. Oh, yeah. That happens to me all the time, Colonel. There's a Petron station in Calibo, right after McDonald's. Right, I'm on the left lane, and that left lane is supposed to just go straight, or make a left at the light. The guy on the right here, I'm always watching them. The guy on the right, because the minute it goes green, they're rushing to cut in front of me. They're rushing, but every time I know it's coming, especially with the tricycles. If I'm there and I look at the tricycle, I know what you're gonna do. I'm predicting it. So the minute it's not even green yet, it's like the count. It goes like 2 or 3, 2, and at 2, he's already like pumping his the tricycle, and you can tell he's already like getting in front of me. So once I hit green, he's in front of me, cutting in front of me. There's just areas you learn kind of like these dynamics. You kind of learn these dynamics. Driving here is always tricky. Driving the wrong way in your lane. I saw that in the last video when you were riding in the trike. Your driver was avoiding them. Right? Last video when you were riding in the trike. Oh yeah. That happens. That's the. I remember it now. Joe. That is like when you go to City Mall. There's a left. From Mabini Road in Calibo. That light never works. So what happens is the minute one bold guy goes head on in the traffic, that of course you're gonna stop, right? Because you're getting head on you. The minute there's a brave person that cuts in front of you, the rest of the people there, they're all gonna follow that guy. So because they know you're stopped, you're not gonna move. So now you're like, all these people are gonna make that left turn, until it runs out. I know exactly what you saw that, man. That's pretty perceptive there, Joe, that you saw that. Very common. The thing here when you're driving tricycle, motorbike, whatever you're driving, I think the rule of the road is like, once I'm in, you're supposed to stop. It's not like there's no right of way, but once I'm in the intersection, once I'm in, everybody else has to stop. Like this happens to me all the time going on the national highway. The people pulling in, especially motorbikes, they don't even pause. They don't even stop. Or sometimes if the motorbike is stopped and I'm riding on the highway, I'm looking at the motorbike because all of a sudden they'll accelerate on you and not even look and cut in front of you. I just expect that, when especially the tricycles, they're picking up passengers, dropping off passengers. When I see a tricycle on my right side and I'm driving along, I see it there. That guy's gonna cut in front of me. That guy, I already predicted. And they're gonna cut in front of you and go like 5-10 miles an hour. So you're like, you're gonna stop and then you're gonna go slow. It is what it is. It is what it is here. You're playing Frogger in real life. Yeah. I've seen that. Actually, we did a video one time. We were at SM Mall in Iloilo. We were staying at the Injap Hotel. There's like an overpass there where you do the overpass, but people, even at nighttime, they don't use the overpass. It's a lot quicker. You don't have to climb the stairs, go down the stairs. So they're doing that on the road. And in Iloilo, that's like 5 or 6 lanes. So they are playing Frogger. They are playing Frogger. They're like, watch out. They're like running. When you raise your hand, They know you mean business, and they have actually seen your face, so might be able to identify you. Yeah, it just works, you know. And even for me, when I'm driving, when I see somebody do this, to me, it signals to me that, like you said, this person ain't playing. This person's gonna go in front of me, in front of my car. You know, they're not gonna stop. They're not gonna stop. So when I see anything like that, I automatically stop. I'm always like, I let people in because I don't want to get into any accident. All right, I got more. I got more. I had a lot of topics that I listed. Like I said, I can keep going with this. You might not know thing about the Philippines. I covered that. Oh, buying alcohol and cigarettes. I know there's alcohol drinkers, smokers. At the only place really that they're pretty strict with alcohol and cigarettes here, 7-Eleven. They even have a sign: no one under 18 to buy alcohol or cigarettes at 7-Eleven. But the sari stores, man, you can send a kid. You can send a kid to the sari. You know, it's like if Leanna, if mom say, hey, Leanna, get me a bottle of soju. She can go to the sari stores, no problem. A lot of the sari, they're pretty lenient with the, and a lot of times in the sari stores here in the Philippines. And also, it's happening with 7-Eleven, the one across our entrance to Camilla Aklan. But the sari stores here in the Philippines, at nighttime, it kind of becomes a small bar. You know, it's like a lot of your sari stores here at nighttime, they'll put out like a table with like plastic chairs or a bench. A lot of times they have barbecue, like isaw, pork sticks, chicken butt, all kinds of to barbecue. And it becomes kind of like a club. It becomes a bar because people, will sit there, order their Red Horse, tanduay, and they'll just start drinking, and then they'll have food, Like I said, even 7-Eleven, at nighttime at 7-Eleven, a lot of people, they got benches inside 7-Eleven and outside 7-Eleven. Becomes kind of like the local bar. You get a bottle of liquor and you're just taking shots right there at 7-Eleven. That's allowed. That's in the province. It's not a big deal. In the province. And one of the other things, like there's this thing here in the Philippines called tuba. Tuba. Tuba is like fermented from the coconut sap, the palm tree or something. It's basically kind of like moonshine. Is what tuba is. Comes in a gallon jug. Gallon jug. You see it, people selling it on the national highway here. There's gonna be stalls, kind of like roadside stalls. They usually sell like vinegar. They'll sell vinegar, and then they'll sell tuba. So basically, tuba it's alcohol, it's liquor. Those businesses, they don't require like a liquor license or anything to sell. For about 500, 600 pesos, you can get a gallon of tuba, pretty strong alcohol, and there's really no regulation, because like the one tuba from another will taste different depending on the tree where they get it from, depending on who fermented it. Kind of like bathtub gin, kind of like that thing. That exists here in the province. Don't be surprised, like I said, if you're walking around in your neighborhood and there's a guy drinking tuba, they're taking shots. Hey, come on, they're gonna hand you one for you to try it, and you'll be like, woo, man, this is pretty strong stuff. This one, I think I filmed it when I was filming that one video in Calibo. How when you're walking on the sidewalk here, be very careful because definitely it's not like wheelchair friendly. There is no such thing like that in Calibo, unfortunately, because the sidewalks are uneven. A lot of the businesses in front of the sidewalk, sometimes they'll cement it to, like, if they're like a poultry business or something, to make it easier access to their business. So be careful when you're walking, because the sidewalks itself is not level. And then holes even, big holes where your whole foot will like sink on, if you're not watching, if you're walking at nighttime and it's not well lit and you're just not paying attention. That is one thing you will learn, like Filipinos, like me, when I walk, we kind of have this thing. When we walk, we're always looking down, we're watching for stuff, because when you're walking in the Philippines, especially if you're in town in Calibo, if you're walking, man, you might be stepping on poop. There's a lot of stray dogs, so poop. So we're always looking. Dazzle's always like amazed at me because I'm always like, if I'm holding Dazzle's hand, we're walking, I go, babe, hold on, babe, poop. I'm always like, babe, poop, poop. I'm always pointing out there, oh, broken glass, babe. Because like Dazzle, when she's walking, man, sometimes she's not paying attention. She's just like shopping. She's looking at the ukay. She's looking at the thrift store. But me, man, I'm always like, I'm focused on the ground. Because no telling what you're gonna be stepping on the ground. You gotta be careful. Gotta be stay alert. When it comes to walking in the towns. Now, if you're in a city, if you're like, let's say in Iloilo City, you're in Mandurriao, you're in a condominium, they got nice sidewalks there, they got walkways strictly for walking, I filmed that before, right, in Iloilo City. But here in the province, man, it don't work like that. It don't work. That's the big difference between a city, between a province here. It's like it takes a lot more adjusting if you're moving to a province. I think if you're coming from the United States, like I always say, it's a softer landing here in the Philippines if you land in Iloilo City. That, to me, that's the best one. I know people land in Manila. I know people land in Iloilo, in Cebu City. But to me, Iloilo City is the best soft landing in the Philippines, especially if you live in the Mandurriao area, the modern part of Iloilo City. That's the best part. It's quite a big change when you're coming from in the United States and you go to like a town like Calibo, even Rojas City a little bit. Rojas City, they're more like Calibo. Rojas City, it's a little bigger than Calibo, but it's got that more provincial vibe. But some people prefer the provincial. Like I know Joe Cano, I know he prefers the provincial life. All right, it skipped, man. It skipped here. I'm sorry. I got to make sure I don't miss anybody's comment here. All right, right here. Those steps are brutal on the overpass walk. I know, right? That's the other thing, like Colonel is right. The overpass, that's why people are avoiding it instead of like, they don't want to go on the overpass right there by SM City Iloilo because it's quite a climb. It's quite a climb. It is high. Like overpass walkway. It's, that's some serious steps to get up there. That's why people just cut through the road. I know, Colonel. I know. It's discipline is what we need. Here, if traffic lights is not working, we should follow the four. Yeah. It's never gonna happen here. It's never gonna happen here. Maybe in the city, Emilio, like Iloilo City, I know, because they have a lot of cops there. Like I know in Iloilo City, they write you a ticket. Even a violation like not running a red light or anything violation in the cities, they people will stop. When I'm in the Iloilo cities, I know people stop at the pedestrian there because but not in the provinces, selling one each. Yeah, one each cigarette. Yeah, right. I forgot to mention that's funny. See, the colonel knows it. People here, go to the sari store and buy one cigarette. 2 pieces of cigarette or 3 pieces. And they'll put it in a plastic or an empty carton of cigarette, like the box of a Marlboro. If you can buy like 3 pieces and then put it in an empty box of Marlboros. Trike tracks across your back can be brutal as well. I know. I'm always careful. I'm always careful, but man, I know it could be like a surprise. It could be shocking. If you've never seen it before. Yeah, yeah. Colonel said he's. I know, Colonel. I know he's not. Like I said, Colonel Dazzle and I one time we were filming it from the. We were staying at the Injap and we were filming it, and you can see people were like avoiding the traffic there at nighttime. At nighttime, even in the prison, we call hooch, hooch, and there you go, hooch, hooch. They sell plenty of hooch. They sell plenty of hooch here, Colonel, on the road, on the vendors. It's funny because if I'm going down the highway, I will see them. I will see it usually like a stall, vegetable stall. They'll sell vegetables, fruit, and then vinegar and tuba. All in one. It's like all in one mini store right there. You can buy your hooch. You can buy your hooch. Hey, you can buy gasoline too. You can buy gasoline too, right, Colonel? Not only can you buy you can buy your hooch or your moonshine or your tuba. You can also buy your gasoline from that guy. From the same person. Because they sell the gasoline. They have those 1 liter bottle of Coca-Cola. It's not Coca-Cola because of the color, and they'll have it displayed on the highway. A lot of people that buy it is the motorbikes. The motorbikes buy it because 1 liter is perfect. Because a lot of times the tanks on the motorbikes are like 2 liters or 3 liters. So 1 liter can keep you running on your motorbike. So they'll sell it, man. You'll see it. It's got the glass Coca-Cola bottle, says 1 liter, and it's gasoline inside the bottle. Jokano, in Korea, I saw little kids buying the cheap rice booze. Okay, from the local store all the time. One drop, the bottle when he saw an American in front of him. Probably got whipped. Probably got spanked because you lost my hooch, man. You lost my hooch, man. All right, let me see. I'm looking at. I'm trying to make sure I hit all the topics that I had listed here. Okay, I think I'm on the last. Oh, I got 2 more. I got 2 more pages, man. Dang. Okay, since my birthday is coming up, this is another topic I wanted to. My birthday's coming up August 1st. Here in the Philippines, with Filipinos, when it's your birthday, you're the one that's gonna spend money on your birthday. It's kind of like you're it. It's like if it's my birthday, I'm responsible to entertain my friends and my family. I will pay for the venue. I will pay for the alcohol. I will pay for the food. That's just the way it works here. So don't be surprised if even if you're expat and you come here, it's your birthday and everybody's like, ooh, where are we gonna eat? People are gonna tell you it's like where are we gonna go out? And when you go out, whoever you invite, you're paying. Little different dynamic in the U.S., right? In the U.S., usually your friends try to surprise you with a birthday, right? They try to surprise you. Here, when they know it's your birthday, they're like always, oh, Kuya's birthday is coming up. Where are we going? Where are we going? That's the way it works here for your birthday. You're going to be the one spending the money on your birthday. Okay, I think most expats, most people know this. Rice is life here in the Philippines. Most meals here, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, for a Filipino, even your Filipina, they're not going to consider a meal if it doesn't have rice in it. Let's say you eat a burger. You eat a burger at Jollibee. A lot of Filipinos don't view it as a meal. A burger is like merienda, like a snack between the meals. Don't be surprised if your girlfriend here in the Philippines, you go to McDonald's, you go to Jollibee, and you order them the common meal here at Jollibee, McDonald's, spaghetti and chicken. That's a combination here. It's on the menu. Spaghetti and chicken. Don't be surprised if you order that for your Filipina and your Filipinos go, where's the rice? It's like you already got the spaghetti, you already got the chicken, and you go, where's my rice? Rice is life. Pretty much Filipinos, they don't consider a meal without rice. So breakfast, lunch, dinner, they want rice. They want rice. And then another thing here is get used to like eating with a spoon and a fork. I've traveled the world, you know, it's like I've been stationed at many places in the world. Chopsticks are common, usually knife and fork. I think we're the, you know, I can't think of another country where it's the spoon and the fork. You know, it's the main utensil to eat. And it doesn't matter if you like, let's say you know, go to a restaurant and you order like a big piece of pork chop, you know, or even steak, you know. Now I have noticed they're giving you more like a steak knife, but not all. Filipinos, when they eat like a big pork chop, chicken, they're gonna eat with a fork in it. They cut, you know, they cut their meat here with a spoon. That's just a common dynamic for Filipinos. They'll hold it with a fork, and they know how to cut it with a spoon. You know, it's like one thing you learn here. It's like eating with a spoon and a fork. And then for a lot of Filipinos, when they're in restaurants, they eat with a fork and a spoon. But a lot of times when they're at home, they eat with their hands. You know, it's like that's a common dynamic too. So don't be surprised if you go to a Filipino's house, even during fiesta, you go to people's houses during fiesta, and you're gonna see people eating with their hands. Actually, there's restaurants here now, Mang Inasal, that's a franchise, Mang Inasal, Chicken Inasal in Calibo. When you go to that restaurant in Calibo, fast food restaurant, you know, when you go in there, people eat with their hands in that restaurant. It is not bad behavior, you know, it's accepted, you know. They got that unlimited rice. You know, it's like when Filipinos with unlimited rice and eating with your hands, man, yeah, they eat a lot more. It's weird how Filipinos think that it's more, you eat more, everything tastes better when you're eating with your hands, with the rice, with the chicken, doesn't matter. But you know, whatever they're eating, they just feel like when they're eating with their hands, it's better. It's better to eat with your hands than utensils. All right, let me see here. Pasalubong. I gotta explain to you what pasalubong is. Pasalubong in the Philippines, it's, if you're, you know, the longer you stay here in the Philippines, then the more you'll understand this. But pasalubong is one of these things like Fortune. Fortune had gone to Bohol, right? Fortune went to Bohol. He vacationed a few days in Bohol. Since Fortune went to Bohol, when Fortune comes back home, especially at his office, he's got like subordinates at his office and all that. He's almost expected to bring pasalubong. Even before he leaves, you know, his co-workers, his employees, oh, you're going to, sir, you're going to Bohol. Pasalubong, sir, pasalubong. You know, they're gonna say that. It is just, what is it, like a common practice. It's polite, it's a good behavior that if you go on vacation somewhere, get some trinkets. It doesn't have to be expensive. You don't have to like break the bank. You don't have to break the bank for pasalubong. Pasalubong are gifts. You can buy like a refrigerator magnet. You can buy a pen that's got Bohol in it, or foods especially. That's, man, you're gonna be like something that when you go to Bohol, you can only buy that certain food in Bohol. Maybe it's a piece of candy, piece of chocolate, something that comes from Bohol that people that when you come home to Manila, they don't have. That's well appreciated here. Well appreciated. You're a good person. You're a good person when you go get pasalubong for everybody. That's why even on our videos, right, you hear when Dazzle and I were going to Calibo, like when Dazzle and I eat out, we always in mind that when we come home, if Leanna and Mom didn't come with us, we got to get Mom and Leanna pasalubong. Like if Dazzle and I eat at McDonald's, we're going to get takeout for them. It's just like, it's a polite thing. It's a nice thing to do. And people, when they receive pasalubong here, they're happy. Like I would be, right? Like for me, you know, if you're coming from the United States and you come here, hey, Gino, I want to meet you. We'll meet up. And you give me a t-shirt. Let's say you're, you know, like Vaughn. He's from Columbus, Georgia. He brought me a Columbus, Georgia shirt. I mean, that means a lot to me, man. Thank you, brother. You know, it's like that. I appreciate that because the thought is what counts. It's not the amount of money. It's not that you spend. It's the thought that counts when it comes to pasalubong. That you were thinking about me. You know, oh, I got to make sure I got pasalubong for Gino. You know, it's like, to me that matters. And you know, and it's the same with me. When you come here, you're to come to meet me. I want to give you a cup. I want you to have a cup like this. I want to give you a cup. I want to give you a panay posse hat, because that is kind of like, to me, it's just good behavior, right? We're friends when we're like that. When we behave like that, it's like that's where you build friendship. Rev Red, hi bro, God bless, Rev Red. Hey, Rev Red, Pinay, oh Pinay Heart, Pinay, Oceanside, California, happy 4th, God bless America, hi brother Gino, too many holes and dog bombs to not pay attention. I know, right? See, that's what I think, Joe. You know, when I'm walking in Calibo, I'm like, you know, scanning everything I'm walking, because, you know, for me, like I said, when I'm walking with Dazzle, you know, I always like, hey babe, watch out, because Dazzle, man, she's like looking around at the ukay. She's like not paying attention. You know, I gotta pay attention for both of us. Hi, Pinay Heart, happy birthday, happy Sunday, bro. All right. Hey, Michael C, in Tagaytay. Good to see you, brother. Thank you for joining the live stream, brother. You got to watch out for dog poop, for sure, right, Derek? You know that, because there are so many stray dogs. Maybe not in like the bigger cities, like BGC for sure. I can see a lot of like even in Iloilo, the new mega world in Iloilo, the business area, you're not gonna see many stray dogs. But the older side of Iloilo City, the downtown, or maybe Haro, Molo, there, you're gonna see stray dogs. In Calibo, man, there's a lot of stray dogs in Calibo, man. So you gotta watch out. You gotta watch out for dog poop. Yukano, Pinahart, Red Fred, Michael C, Morning Colonel. The coconut vinegar is the tubak that didn't sell. That didn't sell lessing. That's taking care of the kuyas. Good morning, Michael C. Hey, there's Merle in Boracay. All right, Merle. Glad you can join us, Merle. Good morning, Kuya Gino. How are you? I'm doing well, brother. Michael C. Wow, me and Rose birthdays are July 26th. You're gonna spend, yeah. See, Dazzle's birthday again is July 25, and mine is August 1st. So we got a trip scheduled. We do a celebration together, and then I'll have my birthday party on the 1st of August, just because it's 60. 60 is a big number. So just like Vanilla Ice song, rice, baby, rice, baby. Yeah, it's not a meal to a Filipino unless you got rice. When I eat around Filipinos, I notice they order one ulam to I know, man. Merle, when I was in college, I would go eat lunch with my classmates, right? My Filipino classmates here, and we would go to Mang Inasal. I always order Mang Inasal, one rice, the chicken inasal, and I always knew they all go for the unlimited rice. And I know that because in Mang Inasal, the white plate means one rice. The green plate means unlimited rice. And man, I have seen my classmates, Merle, I'm not honest, they will order the leg quarter, one piece of leg quarter. And with that one piece of leg quarter, they will eat 5, 6 cups of rice. Filipinos just because at Mang Inasal, not only can you eat with your hands, but they got that chicken oil that they put on the rice, and then the soy sauce. So you don't even need the chicken. You don't even need the chicken, man. I see my classmates just, they're loving that chicken oil and that soy sauce at Mang Inasal. Jokano, next time you go to Boracay, Gino, you just need to bring Merle back. Bring Merle back as pasalubong. Bring Merle back. Man, Merle is having a man. I'm looking at all of Merle's posting on Facebook. He's having an amazing time in Boracay, meeting so many people. He's meeting the expats. I know Merle was at the Levantin. They play bocce ball every Sunday afternoon. They have bocce ball in Boracay. All the Levantin is a restaurant on Back Beach, on Bolabo Beach, and the expats hang out there with their families, not, wives, kids, right there in Front Beach. They play bocce, hang out all afternoon, man. It's like, and I know Merle checked that out already. All right, let me see. Let me make sure I hit everything. I almost forgot, man. This is I'm pretty sure you've heard of tabo. Tabo is like, it's the scoop. Let me get my tabo, man. That way you guys know I have one. All right, this is a tabo right here. That's a tabo. It's like it's used to scoop water. So here, I don't take like hot showers or anything. So I use tabo. We got a big bucket, and I scoop it. I do it on my head. That's how I take a shower here. Also, you use this to when you go to the bathroom. You also use this to clean yourself. Most Filipino homes, they don't have toilet paper. I know in my house we don't buy toilet paper. This is our toilet paper in my house. So if you come to my house, well, if I know you're coming to my house, I might buy toilet paper just because I know how Americans are with toilet paper. But in the Philippines, this is the toilet paper right here. It's the tabo. Also, Mom, she uses this to water the plants. So, Mom's got a bucket of water outside. She leaves it out, and then sometimes she catches rainwater in it. And then I see her scooping it with the tabo, and she's like watering her plants with the. That's how Filipinos roll, man. So when you visit like a some Airbnbs actually, don't be surprised if you go to some Airbnbs, especially the Airbnbs in the province. Don't be surprised when you open up the shower curtain. Where's the shower? There's no because I remember I filmed one in Boracay and Tampisan Beach. That one Airbnb there, I filmed it, and all they had was a bucket of water in a tabo. So even Airbnb, don't be surprised. Even apartments sometimes won't have a shower. That's just the way it is. That's the way it is here in the Philippines. I almost forgot that. That was one of my notes here. I have to make notes because I'm talking about so many things. I don't want to like miss any item here. I think I hit that. I'm on my last page now. I think, yeah, last page here. Couple of items like pasma. I already talked about pasma. It's a folk illness that Filipinos believe that if they're sweating, if it's hot outside, they can't take a cold tabo shower bath because they're gonna suffer like joint pains and all that. But there's no medical proof that it exists. But people believe that. People believe pasma. Shyness. When you meet the Filipino here, a lot of times when you meet them for the first time, it doesn't matter if you have the LDR with the Filipina. You're coming from America, LDR with the Filipina. Seems like, you video call even, right? Don't be surprised when you finally meet your Filipina that, in the beginning, it depends on how long your LDR, of course, depends your relation. But don't be surprised. A lot of times I hear it from people, foreigners that move here. Man, I didn't realize how shy she was, because, it's easier for Filipinos sometimes to like chat, right? To text, to chat, than being person to person. Finally, you're face to face. A lot of it, I think, it's got to be with like the language also. It's easier for Filipinas to communicate with the expats or foreigners when they're online. When you can type, you got time to think. But when you're face to face, it might be the communication will be. Don't be surprised if the communication will be harder, and don't be surprised if you don't you meet the Filipina, you're going like, dang, she's really shy, But a lot of times, what you'll find out later on, the reason why there's some shyness there in the beginning is because again, the language. She's afraid to make a mistake, being misunderstood, pronunciation. For some reason, there's a thing here in the Philippines, especially with Filipinas. They're really particular about pronunciating certain words, any words really. They do not want to mispronounce. And then if you're like the joker type anyway, and your Filipina makes a mistake about a pronunciation, don't make fun of them. Don't make fun of them. I see that. It's like, what did you say? What did you say? And then, you meant this, and then that's stupid. Don't make fun. Or they're gonna be conscious of that. And then from then on, they might not open up to you more. It's like, be careful. Be careful. Like I said, Filipinas really particular about the speaking English and pronouncing the English well. Really big thing for them. The last thing, I'm at the 2-hour mark, so I gotta end it here. The last tip, last dating tip. This is a dating tip for the people that are still dating, LDR, whatever, with the Filipina. One advice that I gotta give you guys: don't ever talk about your ex. Don't ever talk about your ex. Nothing good will come out of that with a Filipina. Even if the Filipina asks you, and most Filipinos won't ask you anyway about your ex, don't open it up yourself. To me, that's a grave mistake. Don't open up, I had a Filipina girlfriend before. Do not say that word. That's a huge mistake when you're dating a Filipina. Even if, sometimes they kind of bait you. They kind of bait you and ask you, like, have you had a Filipino? What was your Filipina, or what was your girlfriend before? Don't bite into it. You're going to say, well, come up with an excuse. Come up with you saying, it just didn't turn out well. I don't like discussing my, I've moved on from that. But especially, don't open with like, I used to date a Filipina. Or, don't talk about exes. Filipinos are really particular about that. That's the worst thing you can do is discuss your, especially if you've had a Filipina ex, you just broke up and you got a new Filipina, do not discuss that ex. Nothing good can come out of it. Nothing good. That's going to be my last item of comment. Merle, I was eating next to Eat Right driver, all right? He ordered 1 ulam, munggo, 2 rice. He said, I'm on a budget. one ulam. Yeah, 1 ulam. Filipinos are brutal with each other when they speak English. Foreigners tend to be more forgiving with 100%, Joe. A lot of it too, especially in the Luzon area, especially like Manila, because a lot of times in Manila, people are educated, people go to the big universities. If you're coming from Visayas region and you go to Manila and you're looking for a job or anything, you find work there. There's a certain thing here, kind of like in the United States, Joe, where the people in the South, people in Texas, you got that, that accent, right? Same thing in Visayas. The Filipinas in the Visayas region, they have a certain accent, certain words in English that they can't pronounce the proper pronunciation. The Filipinos in Luzon, they will make fun of them. It's so unfortunate, but that's where it comes from. That's why Filipinas so particular about pronunciation, especially the ones coming here from the Visayas region. Take care. All right, take care. God bless. God bless, my brother. Filipina Tampo Trap. When she asks about your girl, thank you, Joe. Don't bite, Joe. If your Filipina asks about your ex, find a way, change topic. Don't discuss, and definitely don't discuss an ex that's another Filipina. That's not gonna go well. It's like avoid that at all costs. Discussing your ex. Stay blessed. All right. Thank you so much again, Belus. Appreciate the super chat. There was another person that I can't remember now who the other person that, I think Young Fresh. I think But thank you for the super chats. Appreciate it. Appreciate the support. Appreciate everybody's time. I'm going to end the live stream right here. Again, happy 4th of July. God bless America. God bless everyone. Take care and stay blessed. Stay blessed.